Welcome, folks, one and all, to Let's Play Betrayal at Krondor, released in 1993 for the PC. Developed by Dynamix and published by Sierra Online, this is a role-playing game that takes place in Midkemia, the fantasy world developed by Raymond E. Feist in his Rift-War novels. Although neither dialogue nor narrative were written by Feist, this game is considered canon, and was later novelized in 1998 by Feist into Krondor, the Betrayal. This is a game that a lot of people presume that I've played before and have lots and lots of fond memories of, but this in fact is a game I've never played before. I've seen some people play bits of it, but this will be, for the most part, an entirely new experience for me. So kindly avoid posting spoilers in the comments because I don't want anything spoiled, and I'm sure the people that are watching this for the very first time don't want anything spoiled either. This, by the way, in my research of the game, I discovered is a game that runs on an altered flight sim engine, which gives me Descent to Undermountain vibes, but unlike Descent to Undermountain, this game is heralded as a fantastic role-playing game, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. There aren't many options here that I can mess around with. We can start a new game. We can't restore a game because we don't have any games to restore. We have the contents, which acts as a kind of chapter select. We can quit to DOS, but we're not actually going to see the game if we quit to DOS. And then there's the preferences. This is pretty much at default. We have step size as large, turn size as medium, text speed as weight, detail at maximum, and then we have the settings for sound and music. There aren't many choices. I can either have things like sound, music, combat music, and CD music on or off. And I, after much consideration, decided to leave them on. So let's go back to the main menu and let us start, but not before I mention the fact that this game is a very wordy game. We are going to get large blocks of text that I'm going to do my best to read. Hopefully, I do the narrative justice. Let us start a new game. And enter Midkemia. Chapter 1. Into a Dark Night. By the way, I have no experience reading the book, so this is all going to be new to me. Blood-soaked rags collected at the boy's feet. One by one, he tended the wincing soldier's purple wounds, stitched, salved, bandaged, did what little he could in the leaping golden halo of firelight. Fortunately for his roadside patient, he could do more than most. Fingers slick with alum ointment, he worked fervently to tie off a catgut cord, then brushed the injury with a light touch that to the untrained eye would seem only a friendly pat. Others would recognize the telltale hand gesture as a magical ward against infection. Done, Owyn sighed, wiping his hand in a rust-coloured cloth. No guarantees, though. The stitches may hold all the way to Lamont, and then again, push too hard and you could be bleeding like a stuck pig in Midsummers. You did. Fine, Senior Locklear replied, smiling approval before rolling down his sleeve. It'll scar, but it's good for a noble's reputation. Lets the kingdom folk know he isn't resting on his laurels, and it impresses the ladies. I'll be sure to look you up in Tyburn if I ever need stitching up again. The boy accepted the compliment with a humble nod while he packaged away the rest of his medical supplies. His thoughts focused instead on a third man, who slumped in the shadows across from them. Despite the manacles that bound the stranger's hands and the distance that separated them, the boy felt dreadfully exposed, his avenues of escape limited should Locklear's elven-looking prisoner decide to liberate himself. "What did he do?" Owyn whispered, jerking his head towards the man. "Gorath? Let's just say that he had the disadvantage of being at the wrong place at the wrong time," Locklear said cautiously. He snatched a greenish apple out of his knapsack, offering one to Owyn. "I have to take him to Krondor." "Did he kill someone?" Owyn asked. "No. He attacked you." The senior wiped apple juice from his mouth, shook his head. No, not exactly." "Well, who cut you up then?" Before Locklear could reply, Gorath leapt forward, his chains writhing between his wrists like metallic vipers. You're going to see some of the game's cutscene animations here, and they're really good. "Get out from underfoot, Owyn! Assassin in the camp!" "Do not struggle so, Haseth. I wish to keep you alive. But be glad I do not. The goddess of death will show you greater mercy. And An assassin! After Locklear? After Gorath? It doesn't matter, for they are dead. Chapter 1. Into a Dark Night. Escape to Krondor. And here we are, in the game itself. Here is the exploration window, where we see the world. Here is our compass, and here are our characters. We have Locklear, we have Owyn, and we have Gorath. Left-clicking brings up this UI, where we can see various things. Right-clicking examines things like this broadsword. We'll be looking at things like that in more detail in a moment. If we exit and we right-click the characters, we can see a lot more, like their stats and their abilities. Locklear here has 55 out of 55 health, 45 out of 45 stamina. You lose stamina first and then health, as far as I know. I have done a little bit of research into the mechanics of the game, though I'm not going to claim I'm an expert. Speed 4, strength 17. Defense and weaponcraft and all these have percentages, and you can raise these by doing actions. Defending in combat can raise defense. Accuracy in crossbow and accuracy in melee, they can be raised by fighting with crossbows and melee respectively. Accuracy in casting, that's at 0 because Locklear can't cast spells, and you can click the pommel gem of a weapon to focus on a skill. For Locklear right now, we are going to focus on all of these, because these are pretty important. Everything else here is also important, but for combat we're going to want that. Now if we click here, we can cycle between all the characters, and if we right-click Locklear, we get a biography that we're going to be reading right now. Son of the Baron of Land's End, Locklear has achieved great notoriety while serving Arutha Condoin, Prince of Krondor. Decorated for his service at the battles of Armenga and Sethanon during the war known as the Great Rising, he is one of the most honoured nobles at the court of Krondor, and in many respects is considered an unofficial member of the royal family. Ooh. In the 9th year of the reign of King Liam I, Locklear entered the service of a northern kingdom garrison to investigate reports of a conflict raging in the Northlands. Shortly after his arrival, his military escort was attacked by moredhel raiders, and Locklear found himself cut off from his companions. Later, upon seeing someone fleeing a moredhel warrior, Locklear slew the aggressor, only to discover the man he had saved was in fact a moredhel himself, Gorath of the Ardanian clan. Interesting! Let's look at Owyn's description here. More often than not, Owyn Belfort has been a political embarrassment to his father, the Count of Tyburn. As a result, he's been given a degree of freedom even his elder brothers are envious of, though his father hopes he will one day settle down enough to become a marriageable suitor for the daughter of the Duke of Ypres. Far craftier than he is often given credit for, Owyn has a keen eye for detail and can often see patterns invisible to those around him. All his life, Owyn has dreamed of studying magic, and on many occasions has set elaborate plots in motion to spend time with masters of the arcane crafts. He undertook his most notable endeavour when he was only 14 and vacationing in the city of Rann. Having spent the previous summer needling the household staff about his father's accounts, Owyn discovered a means of redirecting a portion of his father's wealth and managed to hire a magical tutor for nearly 7 months. Finally, his father detected his abilities and recalled him home to Tyburn. Thereafter, the Belfort household staff was ordered to strict silence when in Master Owyn's presence. Crafty! And finally, we have Gorath. Although he is an eligible claimant to the moredhel throne of Sar-Sagoth, Gorath has never desired to meddle in the politics of the Northlands, but often he has had little choice. He has been notably vocal in his criticism of the leadership of Delacarn, a moredhel who distinguished himself during the Great Rising as one of Myrmandamus's field generals and later claimed the throne of Sar-Sagoth for his own. There are probably going to be a lot of names I have difficulty saying. Such is the way when you don't know much about the source material. Gorath himself has led an impressive military career, and during the Rift War, he directed one of the only moredhel defences to successfully withstand Tsuri aggression. As he beat back invaders, thousands of moredhel escaped their homes in the Green Heart Forest to the safety offered by the Northlands. Only starvation and superior Tesori numbers eventually drove Gorath and his tribe of the Ardanian to flee across the Great Northern Mountains to their waiting cousins. Well, you seem pretty capable. Also, you can't cast magic. So we're gonna put these here for now. You can cast magic, so we are going to give you defense and give you accuracy in casting. The rest of it right now, we are not going to focus on your armor craft and weapon craft. Leave a lot to be desired. Your barding, however, that could be interesting. Also, you have a spells button. You have Despair Thy Eyes and all these other things here that we could potentially look at if we right-click them. No. But we do have spells. We have Despair Thy Eyes, Invitation, Gift of Sung, Candle Glow, and Scent of Sarek. If I were to guess, the Candle Glow is a light spell, and I know what Despair Thy Eyes is. It's pretty useful. Right. Let's look at the equipment we have now. We currently have in our possession a broadsword with 98% condition. Slicing the air with the weapon, Locklear made a few passes at an imaginary foe. Although the sword was not the most remarkable he had ever held, it would serve well enough if he found himself in a sword battle. More info reveals that it has two different stat blocks, one for thrusting and one for stabbing. Now, thrusting, it has 0 plus strength base damage and 10 plus skill accuracy. Swing, it has 7 plus strength base damage, but minus 5 plus skill accuracy. So, you are less likely to hit with a swing, but you deal more damage if you do. No mods, no bless types, racial mod human. I believe that means that if a human is using this weapon, they do better with it. We also have this. Standard Kingdom Armor. It's not doing very well. A thin shell of steel, the plate armor was ideally intended to be worn over a padded piece of clothing that they were regretfully without. But while the thin fabric of Locklear's tunic would be a poor substitute for a quilted gambeson, the armor itself would deflect far more sword blows than would bare skin. 15% armor mod, racial mod, human. Fair enough. We also have rations! Laying the brown parcel aside, Locklear carefully undid the short length of string that bound the package. Although standard rations generally contain salted sweetmeats, hard rolls, sliced apples, and strawberry tarts, he was eager to get at whatever food was inside. And finally, restoratives. We have 10 uses left. A comforting warmth blanketed Locklear as he shook the vial of restorative fluid, its magical effects radiating up the length of his arm and then down through his limbs and torso. He would, of course, have to swallow the liquid to reap benefit of its healing powers. Interesting. Now, you don't have any armor at all, which is unfortunate. We're going to have to get you some, but you do have a wooden staff. While his woodworking skills wouldn't give his rivals reason to quit their professions, the crafter's staffmanship was exceptional. From the bole of a yew tree, he had fashioned a staff which looked as if it could be used magically as well as a fighting weapon. Now, thrust here, minus 7 plus strength, 15 plus skill. Swing, 3 plus strength, 0 skill. Human. Fair enough. And then we have Gorath, who has the same armor, same things there. We also have these lockpicks here, I think, and 14 sovereigns and 3 royals. The sovereigns are the gold coins, and royals are blue. Also, we have a couple of things here, like Herbal Pack. A potent medicinal aroma wafted from the herbal pack as Owyn looked it over. Without opening it up, he was certain it contained the standard materials, alum and healer's alcohol. While it couldn't help regain lost strength, it would go a long way to increase the rate at which he healed. So it's kind of like a increase your natural healing thing. And then we have torches. He plucked at the torch's oil-soaked wrappings. Although the rags were heavy with the scent of kerosene, he had no way to be certain how long the torch would last once lit. Good to know. Very interesting. Right, if we exit here, we have other buttons. We have the Make Camp button. We have the Map button. There is first this map, which we can move about or camp. Then there is the bigger map. Now here we have where we are, right here. There is Yabon there slightly to the north and the east. We have Lamut, Zun, there is Quester's View, Hawk's Hollow, L'Oreal, Tirsog, there's Sarth, and there's Krondor. We really, really want to get to Krondor. There are all these other locations, by the way, like Sarsagoth, Harlech, Armenga, Raglan, Wick, High Castle, Dencamp on the Teeth. We may end up going to some of these. Oh, who are we kidding? We're probably going to end up going to all of these. But right now... Oh, there's also Caldara right there. But right now, we have to get to Krondor. And that is an important thing to do. One more thing we should probably do is go to this here, which brings up the music. The game doesn't have a lot of music just ambiently. And we'll save, because saving is a good idea. Saving is always a good idea. And if I were to go here, I could now restore a game. And we have that. Good. Always a good idea to check if a game is actually saving. And so, when we come back, folks, we'll actually begin playing the game. This was a little introduction to show off some of the UI elements of the game and get all the bios done. Next time, we will actually begin adventuring in Midkemia. Will we find more moredhel? Will we end up getting to Krondor? Definitely yes on the first, not so sure about the second. We shall see as the game goes on. But one thing is burning at the back of my mind. Why are moredhel assassins trying to kill Gorath? We'll find out next time. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.